That's a. I don't know if I released that. I told you guys I was a DJ. I'm known more as a DJ than a drummer. So go figure. I have. Well, yeah. I have more music out as a DJ. That light is killing me. I really don't like looking at it, but I know I need it. So it's kind of like a necessary annoyance. But I want to welcome everybody. I want to welcome y'all to the live stream. What's going on, y'all? Hope your day was good. I've been getting a lot of questions. I've been sharing at Reddit, sharing some stuff on Reddit, just cause I got a Reddit account. I don't know why I got it. I don't know why I got. Well, yeah, I don't know why I got it. But yeah, um, I just started posting on Reddit just cause I was just kind of bored. I had the account, so I was like, whatever, man. You know. But yeah. So hope you guys had a good day. I sent all of the kids out. I said, just get out the house, go on your bikes, beat it. So they did their homework and everything. So what is it? 5 o'clock. I've been out of it, man. I've been out of it for. I've been out of it for quite a few days actually. Um, just sluggish. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the change of seasons. I don't know what it is. So you know. That's a song by Allan Holdsworth. It's called "All Our Yesterdays." The bass line, it's like the way Gary, it's a guy Gary Husband. He's like some British guy who's like extremely underrated. Extremely. When you hear guys like Dennis Chambers, he says like, yeah, guys like Gary Husband, yeah. But he phrases that differently. And he's using one pedal, so oh, that song is called "All Our Yesterdays." It's the last song on the second side of Actavacron, which is an album by Allan Holdsworth. The rhythm is really, really weird. because Allan Holdsworth is really, really weird. Um, the reason why a lot of drummers wanted to play with him, every drummer who's like who knows this stuff, like the drummers, they wanted to play with Allan Holdsworth because the backstory of Allan Holdsworth and to give a reason why he writes such weird tunes in weird time. He's music. Well, he died. He was musically illiterate. He was the guitarist that Eddie Van Halen was like, that dude's the best in the world. But he wanted to be a saxophone player. He's from Britain. He wanted to be a saxophone player, and but they were poor. So his dad was like, I can't get you a sax, but I can get you a guitar. And he bought him a guitar. And he spent the rest of his life trying to get that guitar to sound like a saxophone. To the point where he, in conjunction with some electronics genius, the guy, somebody came up with the concept. The guy, I can't remember his name, he came up with the concept of a guitar synthesizer, a true guitar synthesizer, not just a guitar that has pickups that, no, a true guitar synthesizer. So, and it really was it was a MIDI controller. So what he did, he, talked to Allan Holdsworth, and Allan Holdsworth pretty much designed it. He was like, look, this is what I want. I want this. I want this. So you have a set of strings here. You have a set of strings up here, a completely different set of strings up here. And they're not like from like the thick E string to the thin E string. They're all the same size because it really doesn't matter. Like, it's a MIDI controller. And then it has 6 pads right here. And then it has a hose that you can kind of blow into and use kind of like a volume pedal. It's got various knobs. It's got a tremolo system. But that whole hose thing, that was his desire to come as close to a guitar saxophone hybrid as possible. But all that being said, he was completely musically illiterate. And musical illiteracy worked in his mind the same way it did in James Brown's mind. James Brown was another one who was completely musically illiterate. But they were both, because they were musically illiterate, there was no, like, if you listen to I Feel Good, I knew that I would, now so good, so good, I got you, dude, that's only a rhythmically illiterate person can come up with that. Like, that's not even, you can't even count it. It was a pause. And I remember seeing interviews of guys who were in James's band, and they were like, yeah, it was weird. It was just and it would hang in the air. And you better know the count, because James knows it. It makes sense to him. It doesn't make sense in the logical world, but in his brain it makes sense. Well, Allan Holdsworth was the same way. He would just write songs that would just rhythmically were just insane. Like, he's got a song called Dodgy Boat's kind of regular. It's on the first album. It's on the IOU. It's a red IOU album. Oh man, it's got a drum solo. It's an instrumental and a drum solo, but it's a ridiculous song. But the timing in it is just like the timing and the breaks and everything. It's just weird. It's just really, really awkward and weird. So, but that's part of the reason why drummers always wanted to play with him, because he just, he wrote really, really beautiful but rhythmically just challenging tunes. If you're a guitarist, he'd like probably have smoke billowing out of your ears trying to understand what he's doing. practice. Way out of practice. Hold on, you guys. I'm watching this boring thing about EVs. Little warm up. Warm ups. Out of practice. Sometimes the metronome just don't go fast enough because that song is way faster. It's the song I'm thinking about. The sticks are like extra, extra, extra heavy. But the crazy thing is, I didn't even realize it. I was like, why am I playing so sluggish? I got like pretty heavy sticks. What kind of This guy has a shirt. I'm not gonna mention it. Hey yo! I just noticed what his shirt said. Hey yo, that is hilarious. It's a baseball shirt. It's a baseball jersey, but it's and it looks like a it's in the font of the Atlanta Braves, but it spells out something else. It's hilarious. Yo, you play French horn? What kind of music do you play? Josiah. You know who he was? Josiah became king at, I want to say, either 7 or 8 years old. And he brought about a religious revolution in terms of, you know, true worship. Man, it's pretty wild. An 8 year old king. That's how it was back then. But you probably know that, which is why your name. That's probably why your parents named you Josiah. Basically, they're calling you young king. No, no, no. Yeah, I'm out of practice. Way out of practice. You might have to raise this floor time. I actually raised my seat. I gotta raise them both. The good thing about having kids is when you don't feel like going to the store, you can give them your debit card. Say, hey, go to the store. Sure. They ride their bikes to the store. The thing about chops is I I don't know. I look look at chops like this. Chops are only for getting the ideas out of your head and being able to execute them immediately. You know, that's I have, you know, things floating in my head as I'm playing, and I want to be able to just get them out. I don't want to have to worry about, is it gonna sound right? Am I able to play it? Is it, you know what I mean? So, you know, when I hear a lot of people talk about, well, you know, the chops and this and that and blah blah blah, and the fact of the matter is, I always say this: if you eliminate chops, you pretty much cut off your left hand. If you're, you know, if you're a left-handed person, you're chopping off your right hand. If you're a right-handed person, you're chopping off your left hand. And really, it depends on how you play. Because if you're right-handed, uh, basically, you know what I mean. I don't even want to go any further. But you know, if someone says, "Oh well, I don't need," let me tell you something. If you don't have some chops, you're not going to get hired. That's just facts. You're not, because when people hire you, they want to know they this is expected from a drummer. If you're a drummer and you can't play that, then you're not a drummer. That's I'm sorry, you're not a drummer. If you can't play pocket, every drummer can play, should be able to play pocket, even if it's every drummer should know how to play pocket. The drummers that get hired have some kind of chops. They may not be Dennis Chambers or Thomas Pridgeon or whoever, Eric Moore or Ronald Bruner. It doesn't have to be at that level as long as you have some chops. Because when people hire a drummer, if you have a drummer that has chops and a drummer that has pocket, if the drummer, if you have a drummer, put it this way, if you have a drummer that has pocket and you have a drummer that has pocket as well as chops, sorry, they're not going to hire you. They get a two for one package with the dude with chops. Why would they hire you? It doesn't make sense. And there's tons of people who have chops. So if you want to be competitive, you got to develop them. Sorry, got to develop them. You know, and I'm telling you, you're not gonna. If you want to take this drum thing serious, if you want to get hired, if you want to get pushed to the head of the line, learn some kind of chops. Again, you don't have to be. You don't even have to be at the level I play. I'm not even all that. But you got to learn how to play something. You might as well figure it out. You know, because if you don't learn it, there's like 1,000 other dudes who will, or who have chops, and they'll just elbow you out the way. So you know, I find that it's just like, and I'm saying this as a 59-year-old man. A lot of old dudes are like, oh, you guys with the chops and everything, and I'm like, sit down, old man. Sit down. Go sit down. Nobody wants to hear that. I don't even want to hear that. I'm almost 60. I'm on stream. What's up? What's that? Where'd you go? Oh, we don't even own this car anymore, but it is what it is. That's from mom's company. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't want to name it on air. I'm on air, so here, take this. Take this. Put it on the you know that little table with the mirror. As soon as you walk it, right there. Okay, yeah, just put it right there. Wait. What? Who's tweaking? What about him? Who? Who? Colin? What'd you do? What'd you do? What? Yeah, she stopped you from moving. Oh well. I mean, it is what it is. You know. All right, hold on. Oh, that one up there? Yeah. Yeah, I like that cat. It's like at the end of the house. Yeah, I like that cat. I like that cat. I'm on screen. Yeah, they, yeah. Watch it. No, oh. Why didn't you pet the cat? It ain't dark. Why didn't you call a cat? Oh, come here, kitty. Come on, bro. How do you know the cat doesn't like you? That's cats. Cats are stupid. Because the cat knows us. The cat knows me, Davis, and Colin because we pet the cat. The cat don't know you from a can of spray paint, bro. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. We can. The cat don't like you. He senses something. He senses something. He senses something about you. So, all right. Well, hey, use that stuff. Just get some tissue. You know how to just. Nah, I got it. I got water bottles. Thank you anyway, bro. Joel Embiid, the basketball player. You are 1,000% correct. Pocket gets you in the door, but they want to know if you got chops. Chops keeps the excitement happening, and not only that, but the thing about it is, I learned this years ago. Um, chops, like I can't remember the name of the guy, but in the interview, he was saying that, um, and he wasn't even known for chops. He just was known for having like the ability to play a wide variety of music. And man, it's not enough to just play pocket. You gotta give the songwriter options to go in different directions if they want to go in a jazz direction, or like an Afro Cuban. Just and even if you don't really know it, at least know something. You know, um, because a lot of times if you're playing, they might be like, "Oh, this guy can go in this direction. Oh, I could rework this song, and this guy could kind of add some authenticity to it." Like you always want to you always want to over deliver. That's what it is. You wanna under promise but over deliver. You want them to think that's all. You under promise. Hey, I know how to play pocket, and then they're like, "Oh, you know how to play a lot more than pocket." Okay, and that's what gets you rehired. Number one. Number two, if you have chops, they're gonna keep you around because you can play a drum solo. And what happens during drum solos? The singer can walk away, they can take a breather, they can drink some water, and then they come back and they're refreshed. You know. Also, sometimes people write songs, with drum solos in them. Also, I know me personally. I've been in bands where I've been in. I've done a gig where I've done multiple gigs. This guy Butch Caldwell. I used to do tons of gigs with him. Keyboard player, older than me. He's a little older. He's probably in his 70s by now. But he was one of the guys one time. He was like, "Oh, you can play chops," and he would just throw me solos, just to, yeah, just hey, Mark solo, or we just trade. You know, we'd trade fours. He'd hit a four, I'd hit a four, he'd hit a four, or the guitars hit a four, I hit a four. Like we would trade solos. You know, but it keeps stuff like that interesting. And in terms of a performance, it makes the performance exciting. You know, when you got a guy who has a command of his instrument, it's better than a sap doing this. And that's all. And he's a sap because that's all he knows how to play. Like you, really, bro, really. And I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of non drummers, they want to do it with chops. They want, if not only for you, if not only to know that it's there. Like for instance, I worked with another guy. I can't remember his name. He was a saxophonist. He would watch me warm up. It's just a pickup gig. Somebody referred it to me. And the rehearsals were at his house. And I'm sitting there warming up and all that. And he's like, oh, he tells me this later. Um, well, I'm warming up during the rehearsals. By the time the gig comes, I'm staying in the pocket. Now, it's an hour-long gig. There's a half-hour intermission and another hour. So during the half-hour intermission, we're backstage. And he's like, hey, man, I saw you warming up when we were at rehearsal. I was like, oh, man, here we go with Chops Monster. He's like, man, you play pocket. He's like, that's all you do is play pocket. I was like, yeah, that's what you paid me for, pocket. Um, he was like, man, that's wild, man. You know what I mean? And he was just laughing like, man, him and the other guys. And the bass player who referred me, he's kind of like, yeah, I know Mark. Like, why do you think I referred him? He plays pocket. So after the intermission, we go back out. I swear, it just it was too much, man. Thinking about it, every song, like I remember we were playing one song and we just vamping, and he just kept throwing me solo after solo after solo, and it got to a point where I was repeating myself. I was like, what else do I play? Like I never played so many solos in a gig and all, and I've been in gigs where it's you know, I've maybe had one or two solos. I mean, I must have had 5 or 6 solos, bro. Probably more than that, man. The second half was an hour of just like solos, bro. It was like pocket. We would just like, he would just pick a place, or if there was a guitar center, a guitar solo, he'd tell me to take a solo. You know what I mean? So, but I say all that to say, and the audience loved it. The audience, it's entertaining. Um, so it takes the entertainment burden off of the person whose band it is. You know what I mean? So, I'm telling you, you can hire a crackhead on the streets who's playing spackle buckets. If you go to New York, there ain't nothing to see a crackhead playing spackle buckets for some money. Them dudes can play pocket. A crackhead can play pocket. They can't play chops. Don't expect them to play a solo. I mean, their health is bad, and they probably, they can't do it. But that's just, I want everybody to kind of realize, like, look, man, all of that, old dude stuff about pocket sucks. No, they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm an old dude. I'm almost 60. I'll be 60 next year. And I'm saying they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. They don't. They're old dudes who never buckled down and developed the skill set to have lazy drumming, bro. It's lazy drumming, you know. And I'm sorry, I call it as it is, bro. You will get left behind. Like that's cool. Even Chris Dave, who's known for pocket, he has chops. He's got incredible chops actually. And he's known for pocket. He's known for known for his feel, and that's all Chris Dave feel. He's known for his feel and his pocket, and even he has chops. You know what I mean? Like the days of just like I love Bernard Purdie. He has a strong pocket, but the days of dudes just playing pocket and getting gigs because you're playing pocket are over. Over. You gotta assume that everybody got chops. You gotta assume. If they're hired, they got chops. Break down how I move my chops around the kit. Let me see. Check it out. If I'm doing singles, I'll usually just go, or I just like this is what I do. I'll do this. Now that's just singles, doubles, and paradiddles. Now, the doubles, I mean, the paradiddles are inverted, but it's just singles, doubles, and paradiddles. I play inverted paradiddles because I like the way they sound. But with that, I can go. You know, that's just paradiddles, doubles. Now, my doubles, I play doubles like this. You know what I mean? But that's just you know what I mean? I'm literally just moving the rudiments around the kit. If I'm doing this, you know what I mean? Or that's, you know what I mean? So whatever I do, I move it around the kit. If I learn it here, I want to be able to do it here. In this combination, I want to be able to do it in this. If I'm going, that's, or is. That's literally all it is. That's just, you know what I mean? Now, here's something interesting with drags. That's, you know what I mean? That's whatever you do, move it around a kit. You shouldn't be playing rudiments like, can't even do it. You know what I mean? Move it around the kit. That's literally, that's just moving stuff around, just moving around the kit. Whatever you learn, move it around the kit. Once you get used to moving around the kit, play along to a metronome. Once you get used to that, then what happens is play it along to a metronome. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just move it around the kit to a metronome. That's literally what it is, man. Whatever you learn, move it around the kit. You know, um, or like a lot of people will see me do this. That's like a basic move around a kit move. I learned that from like I know Ronald Bruner does it, but he got it from Lenny White because I got it from Lenny White. So I had been doing that riff since like the '80s. It's a famous Lenny White during the Return to Forever, Chick Corea kind of era in the '70s. But that's a basic move around the kit kind of move. Whatever you do, try to move it around the kit, man. You know what I mean? And give it time. Keep doing it. Give it time. Um, Eventually, what you're gonna do, and I'll say this: I had somebody ask a question. Um, they said, "Is it okay to mindlessly practice?" I say, absolutely. Sit at the kit. I think one of the most important things to do is to sit at the kit with absolutely nothing to necessarily do. Sometimes you can do it with a metronome. Sometimes you can do it without a metronome. But just literally sit on the kit and just play whatever comes up in your mind. The reason why I say that is because that's how you come up with your riffs. That's how you come up with the stuff that you play. You know what I mean? Your patented riffs, where you kind of your favorite riffs. That's how you come up with that stuff. Just sitting on a kit, just noodling around. If you ever hear, I was telling somebody this morning. You ever hear an interview? Somebody says, "Hey, how'd you come up with that?" Invariably, the answer is, "Well, I was just kind of messing around. It just came out." Now, they were messing around. That means they were just noodling. They were just doing nothing. Nothing in particular. They were messing around. And so it sounds kind of like it feels kind of counterintuitive, because I think the brain is kind of fixed that I must learn this, or I must be doing something, when the very act of playing is doing something. Now, I don't think every practice should be willy nilly, but I will confess 80%, 80 to 85% of our practice for the last 8 months has been sit down, turn on the camera, and do whatever I feel like playing. Now there are times where I'm not even gonna say that. I don't necessarily play this stuff. I'm at a point where I'm not gonna sit behind a kit and listen to something or try to transcribe it. I could just listen to it and just hear it, and just be like, oh, okay. There was a time where I would sit and I transcribed every Rush album from Fly By Night to Shoots and Ladders. I transcribed every single, even all the world's a stage solos, all that stuff. I transcribed all that stuff. I transcribed Zeppelin. I transcribed Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I transcribed so much stuff, and so I think that's fine, well and good, but you get to a point where you really don't have to transcribe stuff. You can hear the form and be like, oh, okay, I know what he's doing. And plus, as your vocabulary grows, you're not wondering, what is he playing? As your vocabulary grows, you hear stuff and you're like, oh, I know what he's doing, because you're like, in your mind, you're like, oh, I do something similar to that. So you don't have to necessarily sit down and, now if somebody puts a chart in front of me, sure, I'll just read off the chart, no problem. But I don't learn stuff note for note or transcribe stuff note for note anymore, because I just don't have to. And a lot of times I'm in situations where people don't even want me to play the stuff that's on the record. They want me to put my own stank, and that's a lot. That's a lot of times. Unless you're playing for pop acts, then they want you to play exactly what's on there with some minor variations for live performance, but they want it to sound just like the record. But outside of that, every other situation, or if I'm in a metal situation, of course. All right. Ah. It's a good exercise. Um, I can play it if I'm improvising, like I just I can play it just off the cuff. But if I try to play it, then I'm like, ugh, it sounds horrible. I don't know why. That's a good. That's pyramids basically three, fours, and fives. You can go three, four, five, six, seven, eight, and go back down, and go back up. But that's a really good exercise for like coordination because you're basically going. You're going. You're going. Yeah, with one hand. Well, your hands are alternating. Meanwhile, the opposite hand is going. You know what I mean? That's an excellent exercise, actually. Another good thing to work on is your finger technique. This right here, and alternate fingers. You want to build up the strength of your fingers. And if you can do this is hard. That's really hard. And that's hard. That's hard because that's as far as that pinky goes. It doesn't go any further. I broke this pinky like twice. Once playing basketball, once riding a skateboard. And well, I dislocated it twice playing basketball, where it was like that. And then I broke it again, where a dude threw a pass and it went bang and like jammed it and it broke it. And I'm walking around like la 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 la. And then I'm like, man, this thing hurts. So I go to the hospital, and the lady there, she sees the drumsticks. She's like, "Oh, you play drums?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Well, what happened?" She was a drummer. It was crazy. The doctor. She was a drummer. She's like, "Oh, you play drums?" Blah blah blah. So we had a good conversation. She was like, "Well, what happened?" I said, "Basketball." She said, "Well, you fractured it in two places." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, here. Here's X-rays." I was like, "Can I have them?" She was like, "Yeah, sure." I was like, "Thank you." Um, and when I broke it, when I broke this, the bone was literally like, it was like, this is the bone. This is my hand. This is the bottom part. The bone went ding, and it was like gone. So they had to literally lift it up and pull it over and put it back in joint. It was in the joint. It was crazy. And it was like all busted and whatnot. But I got the X-rays to that too. I posted it on social media. It's crazy. But this finger has no. I mean, I can play guitar and bass fine because it's already in the bent position. But being able to do stuff like this is hard. But do that, or you get the little kid sticks. If these are too much, get the little kid sticks. You know, use the little kid sticks. Finger technique will preserve your playing, and it makes it easier. It makes it just put it this way, just with your fingers, you can do this. You can do that a lot. Now that it's easier to play that fast than to do this. You know what I mean? Where you're just using wrist. That's kind of rough, man. Where's my fingers? I can go. That's just this is kind of like the fulcrum and my ring finger kind of bouncing it using a rebound. So definitely develop finger technique. And I'm gonna post a video. The reason why I'm gonna post a video is I tell people all the time that a lot of drummers don't like revealing that. It's the secret sauce. And I haven't, that sounds paranoid, but it's actually true. Like, there's well known drummers who are known for being able to play things that no human can do. They got called out by another drummer. And be like, no, because somebody was like, well, how'd you get your hands fast? Oh, I just did this and I did that. And the other drummer was like, no, it's not. No, it's because both the dudes are known for chops. It's like, no, it's not. We got this, we did that, we did this, we did that. And he's like, shh, don't tell him, let him figure it out. It's really like that, bro. It really is like that. I have an opposite approach. I don't care what I give out, man. I really don't care. Whether you believe in God or you believe in the universe or Allah or Krishna or Vishnu um, or Jehovah, Yahweh, the trees, I don't know, whatever the universe. My point is, the more you give out, the more whatever you call it is going to give back to you. You know what I mean? When you hoard stuff, ain't nobody gonna, you're not gonna, you're hoarding what you have. Like, you're a conduit. You're not a piggy bank. You know what I mean? Stuff is supposed to flow through you. You're not supposed to hold on to it and just get fat. You know what I mean? You're meant to hold on. You're meant to share it. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, it's worked because I'm pretty much an open book. I don't care. I let people see my mistakes. I let people, when I'm messing up, when I flub, when I sound like trash, I let people hear it because everybody doesn't sound perfect. You don't wake up in the morning sounding perfect. I don't care how long you've been playing. I don't care how good you are. You don't sound perfect all the time. You gotta be okay with sounding like trash. You know. Oh yeah, yeah. The reason why you're not satisfied is because you want more. You realize what happens is I used to play a lot of pocket, and what happens is I'm like, man, there's a lot of stuff I hear, but I couldn't pull it off, and I got tired of hearing stuff and not being able to pull it off. So I worked on chops, man. You know what I mean? And when I did that, like, I mean, people loved it. People were like, yeah, they'll hire you, you know, but you ain't gonna get the good gigs. You ain't gonna get the big ones. You're not, you know. Even, bro, when you go to a concert, when you them dudes are like you got guys like, you know, the guy who plays like with Thundercat, you know, um, and people kind of see Thundercat as like, oh, he's weird and kind of out there. He really isn't. He just plays he plays fusion, but the drummers he uses, you know, that and those are high profile gigs, man. The drummers that the drummers that get those gigs can play everything. You know what I mean? Like Justin Brown, the guy who's playing with him now, he also plays with Herbie Hancock. He also plays with Yosvani Terry Cabrera. He also plays with Carlos De Rosa Crossfade. He also plays with a bunch of gospel groups. You know what I mean? In addition to, like, he plays rock, he plays anything, man. You know what I mean? In addition to, like, the fusiony stuff that Thundercat does. So, you know, telling you, man, telling you. You gotta have, and you don't have to be that guy. Like I keep saying it. You don't have to be, oh, Chops Monster. You don't have to be. Just have something. You know what I mean? Just have something in your pocket that you can kind of pull out. You know. Pause on that one. No Diddy. It may seem kind of hard, but it's not. What I'm doing, I'm grimacing not because it's difficult, or in terms of speed, it's because of control. That's the. I always say that the hardest thing in the game isn't speed. It's control. Anybody can gain speed. It's controlling the speed.